Hadoop distributed file system architecture. In contemporary times, it is commonplace to deal with massive amount of data. From your next WhatsApp messages to your next tweet, you are creating data at every step when you interact. Now multiply that data by 4.5 billion people on the internet. The math is simply mind-blowing. But ever wondered how to handle such a large amount of data? Is it stored on a single machine? What if the machine fails? Will you lose your lovely 3 AM tweets? The answer is no. And I'm pretty sure that you are thinking about Hadoop. Hadoop is an amazing framework. With Hadoop by your side, you can leverage the amazing powers of Hadoop distributed file system, the storage component of Hadoop. It is probably the most important concept of HDFS and demands a detailed explanation. Hi, welcome to another video of Code Wrestling, and in this video we will learn what HDFS really is and its main components. Also we will see what makes HDFS so special. So let's find out. It is difficult to maintain huge amount of data on a single machine. Therefore, it becomes necessary to divide the data into smaller chunks and store it into multiple machines. File systems that manage the storage across a network of machines is known as distributed file system. HDFS is the storage component of Hadoop. All data stored in Hadoop is stored in a distributed manner across a cluster of machines. But it has a few properties that define its existence. The first one is huge volumes. Being a distributed file system, it is highly capable of storing petabytes of data without any glitches. The second is data access. It is based on the philosophy that the most effective data processing is write once and read many times pattern. The third one is cost effective. HDFS runs on cluster of commodity hardware. These are inexpensive machines that can be easily bought by any vendor. So what are the components of Hadoop distributed file system? So HDFS has two main components. First one is data blocks, and another one is the nodes that store these data blocks. But there is more to it, so let's look into it. So now we will talk about HDFS blocks. HDFS breaks down a file into a smaller chunk. Each of these units is stored in different machines in a cluster. This, however, is transparent from the user working on HDFS. To them, it seems like all the data is stored in a single machine. These smaller units are blocks in HDFS. The size of each of these blocks is 128 MB, but you can modify it based on your requirement. So if you had a file size of 512 MB, then it will be distributed across 4 data blocks, each of 128 MB. If however your file size is 524 MB, then it will be distributed across 5 blocks, where the first 4 blocks will store 128 MB each, and the remaining 12 MB will be stored in the 5th block. That's right. The last block will not take 128 MB, but it will only take the remaining size, that is 12 MB. But now you must be wondering that why we are storing such a large amount of data in one block. That is, one block is having 128 MB. Why not we should have 10 KB of each block? So now if you are using Hadoop, that means you are dealing with a huge amount of data. Huge amount of data means data in petabytes or even higher than that. Therefore, if we create small size of blocks, we would end up with a large number of blocks. This would mean we have to deal with large amount of metadata regarding the location of each blocks, and hence that will be a lot of overhead, and we don't really want that. So there are several perks to store the data in different blocks rather than saving the complete file. First one, the file itself will be too large to store on a single disk. Therefore, it makes sense to spread it across different machines on the cluster. It would also enable a proper spread of workload and prevent the choke of single machine by taking advantage of parallelism. Now you must be wondering, what about the machines in the cluster? How do they store the blocks, and where is the metadata stored? HDFS operates in a master worker architecture. This means there is one master and several worker nodes in a cluster. The master node is called name node. Name node is a master node that runs on the separate node in the cluster. It stores information like owners of the file, file permissions, etc. for all the files. It is also aware of the locations of all the blocks of a file and its size. All this information is maintained persistently over the local disk in form of two files. First one is fsimage and second one is edit log. Fsimage stores the information about the files and directories in the file system. For files, it stores the replication level, modification and access times, access permission, blocks the file is made up of and their sizes. And for directories, it stores the modification time and permissions. Edit log, on the other hand, keeps track of all the write operations that the client performs. This is regularly updated to the in-memory metadata to serve the read request. Whenever a client wants to write information to HDFS or read information from HDFS, it connects with the name node. The name node returns the location of the blocks to the client and the operation is carried out. Yes, that's right. The name node does not store the block. For that, we have separate nodes. Now let's talk about data nodes in HDFS. Data nodes are the worker node. They are inexpensive commodity hardware that can be easily added to the cluster. Data nodes are responsible for storing, replicating, deletion, retrieving of blocks when asked by the name node. They periodically send heartbeat to the name node so that the name node will be aware that they are in a good health. With that, a data node also sends a list of blocks that are stored in it so that the name node can maintain the mapping of blocks to data nodes in its memory. But in addition to these two types of node, there is one more node, that is secondary name node. So let's discuss about it. Suppose we need to restart the name node, which can happen in case of failure. This would mean that we have to copy the fsimage from disk to memory. Also, we need to copy the latest copy of edit log to fsimage to keep the track of latest transactions. But if we restart the node after a long time, then the edit log could have grown up in size, right? That means this would take a lot of time to apply the transactions from edit log, and during this time the file system will be offline. Therefore, to solve this problem, we bring in secondary name node. Secondary name node is another node present in the cluster whose main task is to regularly merge the edit log with the fsimage file and produce checkpoint of the primary's in-memory file system metadata. This is also referred to as checkpointing, but the checkpointing procedure is computationally very expensive and requires a lot of memory, which is why the secondary name node runs on a different node on the cluster. Despite its name, the secondary name node does not act as a name node. Instead, it is just there for checkpointing and keeping a copy of the latest fsimage file. Now, one of the best features of HDFS is its replication of blocks, and that is why it is more reliable. But how does it replicate the blocks and where do it store them? HDFS is a reliable storage component of Hadoop. This is because every block stored on the file system is replicated on different data nodes in the cluster. This makes HDFS fault tolerant. The default replication factor in HDFS is 3. This means that every block will have 2 more copies of it, each stored in separate data nodes in the cluster. However, this number is configurable. But you must be wondering, doesn't it take too much storage? For instance, we have 5 blocks of 128 MB each. That amount of 5 into 128 into 3, approximately 1920 MB. But then these nodes are commodity hardware. We can easily scale the cluster to add more machines. The cost of buying machines is less than the cost of losing the data. Now you must be wondering, how does name node decide that on which data node it needs to make a replica? Well, before answering that questions, we need to have a look at what is a rack in Hadoop. A rack is a collection of machines, around 30 to 40 in Hadoop, that are stored in same physical location. There are multiple racks in a Hadoop cluster, all connected through switches. Replica storage is a trade-off between reliability and read-write bandwidth. To increase reliability, we need to store block replicas on different racks and data nodes to increase fault tolerance, while the write bandwidth is lowest when the replicas are stored on the same node. Therefore, Hadoop has a default strategy, also known as rack awareness algorithm. For example, if the replication factor for a block is 3, then the first replica is stored on the same data node on which the client works. The second replica is stored on a different data node, but on a different rack, chosen randomly, while the third replica is stored on the same rack as second, but it is stored in different data node, again chosen randomly. If, however, the replication factor is higher, then the subsequent replicas would be stored on random data nodes in the cluster. So I hope by now you have got a solid understanding on what Hadoop distributed file system is, what are its important components, and how it stores the data. There are, however, still a few more concepts that we need to cover with respect to HDFS, but that is a story for another video. So if you understood anything from this video, then do like, subscribe and share with your friends, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get the latest updates of our video. So that was it. See you in the next video. Till then, happy learning!